And good afternoon, everyone. I am calling to order the Board of Commissioners in our scheduled business meeting. It is November the 7th. We have in the room Commissioner Hensley, myself, Commissioner Groot. Commissioner Minty is out of the office today. If you would please rise and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wonderful. And I'll just mention we also have Zach from the Herald and News here with us today. Hey, Zach. Welcome. So we're going to move into public comment. Just checking, Rick, do we have anybody that's joining us on Zoom or online?
There is one.
There is one. Do we know if they're wanting to make comments so we can just schedule this correctly? JG the boss. Mr. JG, are you wanting to make comment today or are you just here to observe? Okay. Well, we see if we hear from them or hear from them in the chat, let me know. That'd be wonderful. And Zach, are you actually wanting to make comment today?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. All right, so we have 3 signed up. We have first is Judith Izzo, and then followed by Zach Keeney, and then Alan Headley. So Judith, you're up first. You have 2 minutes, and Commissioner Hensley will be keeping the clock.
So just let me know
I will let you
when
know.
I'm done.
All right.
So I'm here today representing the League of Women's Voters in Klamath County. And I'm here to invite you to an event that we're going to be sponsoring on November 15th at 4 p.m. at the Sky Lakes Community Health Education Center. And on this day, we're going to be hosting the Oregon Department of Justice Civil Rights Unit, specifically their bias response hotline people. Since the passage of SB 577 in 2019, the Civil Rights Unit at the Oregon Department of Justice operates the very First Nations first statewide hate crime and bias incident response hotline, dedicated to supporting victims and witnesses targeted with hate or bias based on their protected class status. The title is Oregon is a Safe Place for Everyone. So we've been outreaching to community members, government, that's what I'm doing today, and also law enforcement. We've invited the police department and the sheriff's department. So we're hoping that you can make it. We're going to be on Zoom. And I have, can I hand you a piece of paper? Okay, so here's our description of our event and 3 copies, including the Zoom.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you for being here. Next up, Zach Keeney. Sorry, Zach, for the head fake earlier.
It's all right.
All right, come on up. Take it away, sir.
Exactly.
So, good afternoon, Commission. So today's kind of a big day in my world a little bit. This marks my 1-year mark, I suppose, for coming into these meetings and hanging out with you guys. So I know publicly you guys don't get too many thanks, especially at this podium. So I just want to say you guys have always been welcoming and encouraging and helpful every time and fast to respond to phone calls and emails. So I want to give a big thanks for that. It's also your article for the BOCC was my 3rd. And then last to kind of close with here, I know this isn't the time for Q&A, so I'll ask my question now to kind of save you guys a little bit of face. If you ever come across I wear a lot of hats. If you come across a Klamath County one lying around somewhere,
Done.
Yeah. You guys have a good one.
Got
You
it.
too. Thank you
Congratulations on your 1 year, Zach. That's
so much.
awesome. You're doing great work.
Absolutely. Appreciate you being, keeping the public informed is a big piece, and it's important. So we appreciate the work that you do. Even when it's not so nice. So it's still very well written. So well done. Alan Headley, you're up next. And you have 2 minutes, sir. Beginning there.
In general, it's about the immigration policies. Now, there is a set of 5 coming in. I don't have anything against immigration. I think it's the best thing in the world. But what policies do we have in place to make sure that the people that are being sent here are not some that are related to the PLO, cartel, Al-Qaeda? 10 million have come across the border. 1.7 million are unaccounted for. We don't know who they are. And as someone that helped in-process the South Vietnamese when they left, I'm quite familiar with in-processing people. And they're vented, then they get sponsors. The sponsors then relieve the counties and the states and the federal government of the responsibilities, of financial responsibilities, until they can get on their feet. Is this even in place? We haven't heard too much about it, except there's 5 people coming here to start it. It concerns me because the person that's in charge of it at the head of the federal government is an ex-head PLO member. So how can we trust what's vented at the federal government level and taking care of the people? And hopefully that's where the commissioners come in and have oversight over that to make sure that it is done properly to protect the citizens in Klamath County. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for being here. Next up on the agenda, item 4, additions or deletions. Haley, anything of note? All right. We'll move to item 5.1. This is the minutes from the October 31st business meeting. How did those look to you?
They look good.
And those would stand approved. We'll move into proclamations. Item 6.1. This is in the matter of presenting the monthly employee service awards. So thank you to all of these folks for your years of dedicated service to the county. We have Jeff Elliott with 5 years, Michael Hampson with 5 years, Mark Sasich in Community Corrections with 5 years, Jeremiah Hernandez in the Assessor's Office with 10 years, and Jerry Rose in Solid Waste with 20 years. Then, of course, I skipped over one, Miss Jennifer Little with 5 years. Congratulations. She's here in the audience, and thank you for your dedicated service in public health, Jennifer. You've been through all kinds of stuff in your 5 years, and your hard work doesn't go unnoticed, and we appreciate you very much. Next up, bids, awards, and proposals. Moving on to item 7.1, IT.
Director.
Do you just have the one item today?
I think she's got a couple.
You have a couple? Let's do them both. I just have to dig for the other one.
Good afternoon, Jessica Chastain, IT Director. So this is in the matter of accepting a quote for phishing and threat training and an exercise program. Klamath County utilizes software for phishing and threat training and exercises. Our current contract is about to expire with our current vendor, and so a different platform was reviewed. Hawks Hunt is the platform that was selected. I received 3 quotes as follows. Hawks Hunt with a first year fiscal impact of $15,059.32 and years 2 and 3 at $13,059.32. SHI with a first year of $17,857.39 and years 2 and 3, $15,984.66, and CDWG at $18,276.96 for the first year and $16,360.27 for years 2 and 3. The department would like to move forward with a quote from Hawks Hunt for a term of 3 years with a total fiscal impact of $41,177.96 over the 3-year agreement.
I'm going to make a motion and then ask questions after the motion.
Perfect.
I'm going to make a motion that we allow the IT director to accept the quote from Hawks Hunt Software from Hawks Hunt. The fiscal impact is $15,059.32 for the first year and $13,059.32 for years 2 and 3 to be paid out of the technology maintenance budget.
Second, we have a motion and a second. Questions for the director?
So Jessica, I think this is great. I'm supportive of it. I just made the motion. But to me, it seems that it's only really doing us good if we actually hold people accountable to do the training.
Correct.
Can you take a moment and explain to me how this will be rolled out and how people will be accountable to do it, number one, and then I'll ask you both questions so you
Okay.
you can go for it, okay? And number two, does this help us with any insurance, reduction in insurance costs for us to do this type of program?
Okay. So question number one, currently we have, for the most part, quarterly phishing campaigns, which can initiate training based upon how users perceive the email. They also are assigned a yearly training that's mandatory, and then we also do an in-person training annually. This platform will be ramped up, available countywide. It is a little bit different. It's more of a, I don't like using this word, but gamification, where people can kind of see how they're doing within their department and countywide. So they can kind of strive to do better, and it kind of gives them a little bit more statistics. We still will have something that's like the fish alert button, because that's another piece of the software. And so what that does for the general public is it will notify us if someone perceives an email to be incorrect or not legitimate, and then we verify if it's legitimate and then either delete it or forward it on. There's also still that functionality. I strive to make sure that everybody completes their training. There's very rare instances where people don't do the training, and that's typically employees that are very, very, very limited hours. But rather than that, if they don't perform the training, I normally reach out to the department heads and make sure that they're achieving that. And so that's kind of the answer to the first question. The answer to the second question with cyber insurance, this is a mandatory item. It helps from the standpoint that in cybersecurity, the end user is the first line of defense and also the first line of risk, because 99% of all cyber incidents normally stem from some kind of user activity. And so this is something that's mandatory, and it does help with insurance rates.
Perfect. And I thought of another question real quick.
Okay.
I'm quite familiar with your background and your experience, your training, your knowledge in cybersecurity, and your resume is incredibly impressive. Is this something that we could take on in-house at some point and program this out ourselves?
We could. It would take quite a bit of time, which is why we actually pay to have a service. Because what this program does is also takes a look over time. So it has a database background that allows for statistically to see how the county performs to other agencies that are close to our level that have contracts, and then also how people change their habits over time.
So this is a 3-year program, and I'm quite confident it's going to pass. But I think this is something that I'd really like to visit with you more about in the future. And how do we empower you and your staff to try to write some of these programs ourselves and do some things internally in the future? And we've got a couple of years, it looks like, to figure that out. But I think there's some opportunities here to really use the talents of your staff a little bit differently than we have in the past.
Okay, sounds good.
Great, thank you so much. Any further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes.
Thank
Hop down to number 8.5, this is also yours.
Okay, and this is in the matter of signing an agreement that was just, that the quote was just passed for with Hawks Hunt. So Klamath County utilizes software for phishing and threat training and exercises. Our current contract is about to expire with our current vendor, and so different platforms were reviewed, with Hawks Hunt being the platform selected. During the meeting today, the quote for Hawks Hunt was accepted, with the quote being for $15,059.32 for the first year and $13,059.32 for subsequent years.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the IT director to sign the agreement for Hawks Hunt software from Hawks Hunt. The fiscal impact is $15,059.32 for the first year and $13,059.32 for the 2 subsequent years. This will be paid out of the technology maintenance budget.
Second, discussion or questions for the director? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jessica.
Moving on to item 7.2, community corrections. Director Hartman. I believe you have 2 items as well, correct? Perfect.
And Hartman Community Corrections, Klamath County Community Corrections requested bids from asphalt companies for the repaving of the asphalt at the transition house on Vine Street. Community Corrections reached out to 3 companies, but only 2 returned a response. And Community Corrections would like to accept the low bid that came from Rocky Mountain Construction, and that was for $33,540.10. And the second bid was from Webb Asphalt for $44,600.
I'll make a motion to approve Klamath County Community Corrections to accept the bid from Rocky Mountain Construction, allowing Aaron Hartman to sign on behalf of Klamath County.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. 8.1.
8.1, in December of 2022, as well as about a year and a half previous to that, Community Corrections was awarded funds not only for the construction of tiny homes, but also Project Homefront. And through that grant program called Project Turnkey, after Community Corrections was awarded those, we were invited to participate in some learning modules through the Oregon Community Foundation. And then there's an honorarium award for participants in this learning program. And over the course from May 1st of 2023 through December 31st of 2023, there's 3 learning modules. And if we get through all those, there's a chance for us to be awarded just a small amount of additional funds.
Okay. I'll make a motion we approve the agreement with Oregon Community Foundation and Community Corrections for learning modules and acceptance of an honorarium. Fiscal impact is a revenue of up to $3,000 to Community Corrections Operating Fund.
Second.
Motion a second. Discussion on this item. Questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, Director. Moving on to item 8.2. Rick Bond. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Rick Vaughn, Klamath County Tax Collector. Before you here, we got an item to approve and sign. It's amendment to our intergovernmental agreement between Klamath County and DCBS, which is the Department of Consumer and Business Services, the state of Oregon, for July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2026. And the background on this is this agreement, the only change they're making is increasing the maximum compensation payable back to the county from $10,000 up to $59,500.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to make a motion that we approve Chair DeGroot to sign Amendment 1 to the Intergovernmental Agreement number PO 44000-000207754 between Klamath County and DCBS for 2023 through 2026. There is no fiscal impact.
Second, we have a motion and a second. Questions for the director or questions on this item? Or discussions from me? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, very much. Moving on to item 8.3, Public Works. Director Morris. Is this your only item on there?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeremy.
The board has before you a agreement called the Central Oregon Public Works Partnership Intergovernmental Agreement. It's a coalition of Central Oregon counties that share resources. We haven't been on that list and would like to be added to that list. And the reason why is that we'd like to utilize Deschutes County and emergency services for snow plowing Crescent Cutoff Road in northern Klamath County. A little backstory on this is there's a lot of moving pieces. ODOT's reducing their maintenance staff statewide. And in August, they approached Klamath County and said that they
we're not sure if they could continue to remove snow via a 2001 IGA between us and ODOT on Crescent Cutoff. And they did that where we reimbursed overtime, and they would make that triangular loop because it's important for Highway 58 and 97 if there were an accident and closure that a lot of people would cut across Crescent Cutoff. So fast forward, and they're having severe budget issues and reducing staff, and in August they said they weren't sure that they could provide the same level of service. So that started us researching alternatives, and one of them was this alternative for Deschutes County. We're also exploring an alternative using Walker Range, who we've used for snow removal. They're located there in Gilchrist, and I have a meeting with them tomorrow, and an IGA or purchase order would be forthcoming for that. But so essentially, for Klamath County to provide this service on Crescent Cutoff, we used to before 2001. It involved 2 trucks and one grader. Today, those trucks are $350,000 each, and a grader's pushing $400,000. So we need $1 million in equipment. If we ordered those today, they might be here in the middle of 2025. It's taken 12 to 18 months lead time on those. And we'd have to staff it with, four staff members. That doesn't include a mechanic when things are breaking down, or a supervisor. And so it's north of $1 million for us to solve this problem. We only had a couple months to work on alternatives. So there will be a level of service reduction. Crescent Cutoff is going to match other county roads. If you recall, all county roads except Crescent Cutoff had daytime snow removal only. We are typically 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. On a standard day. On big regional storm events, we start 4 a.m. and run to 4 p.m. On those, but that's all county roads except Crescent Cutoff. Well, Crescent Cutoff's probably going to go back to matching other county roads. I'll bring a level of service to the Board of Commissioners in the future for that. So Plan A is ODOT is still working with us. It's just that we're going to pay 100% of their person's time for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, as opposed to just paying for overtime. And Plan B is Walker Range. We're going to have a couple of our plows and spare plows up there for Walker Range to operate if ODOT is unable to get there. And then Deschutes County would be Plan C for an emergency backup.
I'm glad that you're getting on this right now, Jeremy. I think that's really important. I'd hate us to be in February and realize we had a problem. So I'm going to make a motion that the board approve and execute the Central Oregon Public Works Partnership Intergovernmental Agreement. There is no fiscal impact.
Second, we have a motion and a second discussion on this item. Thank you for the great explanation. Hopefully people followed that, but it's unfortunate, but I think it's absolutely necessary given the agreement that we formerly had with ODOT is just no longer serviceable. So.
I am working also, we are working with Search and Rescue. They've occupied our shop for 20 years, and we need a place to park a snowplow indoors and plug it in, and it's not good to leave those outdoors and have 12 inches of snow and the weather beat up a $300,000 piece of equipment. So there's another moving piece to that, but they're accommodating, and we'll get through it.
We will.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Jeremy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 8.4, planning.
Good afternoon,
Good
Commissioner.
afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. So this one is a very simple signing of amendment number 2 to the memorandum of understanding between Klamath County and the Klamath River Renewal Corporation. That is the corporation who is doing the dam removal. This amendment is just to have Klamath County listed as additionally insured. Our part in this project that we are looking at is
fairly minor. We have a asset out there, Topsy grade road. So there's some culverts and some other things. So our expectation is that they leave that road as good as they find it when they start the removal of Johnson Boyle Dam. Any questions? I'd be happy to answer them.
I'm going to make a motion, we approve and authorize the Board of Commissioners to sign Amendment 2 to the MOU between Klamath County and KRRC.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion on this item or questions for the director? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, item 8.8. Nope, 8.6, excuse me.
Okay.
Finance.
That's me.
Wait a minute, I skipped over a couple.
Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
8.6, director.
This is in the matter of approving its reproductive health care infrastructure agreement between Oregon Health Authority and Public Health. So back in September, we requested and received approval to apply for this funding to increase our clinic lobby and exam room accessibility, as well as update our auto attendant phone system to meet language access needs. We were awarded additional funds beyond our original request to help support our contracted service expense for language support services in the current fiscal year. Our application was approved for $31,450.
I'll make a motion to approve the RH Care Infrastructure Agreement between Oregon Health Authority and Klamath County Public Health. Fiscal impact is $31,450 revenue to Subdepartment 4044 Clinic Nursing. Authorize the department head to sign.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion on this item or questions for the director?
I do.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Next is 8.7.
Great. This is in the matter of approving Amendment 3 to our IGA number 180017 for the financing of public health services between Oregon Health Authority and Klamath County Public Health. This original agreement became effective July 1st of this year, and this amendment updates the financial assistance award to add funding to program element 51-03 ARPA workforce funding for the 2024 fiscal year. The agreement remains effective through June 30th of 2025.
I'm going to make a motion. We approve Amendment 3 to the IGA 180017 for the financing of public health services between the State of Oregon, Oregon Health Authority, and Klamath County, acting by and through Klamath County Public Health. Fiscal impact is an increased grant revenue of $17,860 to Subdepartment 4039 for FY 23-24 and authorize the department head to sign.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion on this item. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Director,
Good
thank you
meeting.
so much.
Thank you.
Now, item 8.8, sorry about that, Finance. Natalie Parker, Grant Manager. Howdy.
Hi, how are you guys?
Well, and yourself?
I'm doing okay, thank you. I have 3 items today.
Yep.
The first one is our weekly domestic well completed grant applications. We just have one, Jason Wood, in the amount of $1,800.
I'll make a motion. We approve and sign the Klamath County Domestic Well Financial Assistance Grant Agreement with the above recipient. Fiscal impact is $1,800 expenditure from the Commissioner's Miscellaneous Grant Fund.
Second without questions.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. 8.9.
8.9, this is in the matter of approving and signing the Klamath County Economic Development Grant Agreements for the fall 2023 grant cycle. Do you want me to read all of them?
We probably should.
Okay, I will. Basin Fertilizer and Chemical Company for $10,000. Bentley Physical Therapy for $10,000. Gilchrist Forest Products, $10,000. Klamath Beer Garden, $10,000. Klamath Ice Sports, $10,000. Skyline Brewing, $10,000. Nana's Tea Room, $7,500. And J.S. Markham, doing business as Smith Bates, $7,500.
We'll make a motion. We approve and sign the Klamath County Tourism Grant Agreement with the above recipient.
Economic development.
Yeah. And this says tourism. I will change it. So I'll make a motion. We sign the Klamath County Economic Development Grant Agreement with the above recipients. Fiscal impact is $75,000 expenditure from the Economic Development Competitive Grant Fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion on this item.
No discussion, just a comment. I just want to say thank you to all the businesses, companies, corporations, people that applied for this grant opportunity, and I look forward to seeing some of these projects come to fruition.
Well said. And to the members of the advisory committee who put in a lot of hours sifting through all of those applications to try to help us determine who those awardees should be. And of course, Natalie, thank you for your work as well.
Super exciting.
Of course. These are all also posted on our website under grants, economic development. For this one, it lists out all of the recipients, the funding they've received, and what the project is for on our website.
Thank you for stating that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. 8.10 is then the tourism.
This is the tourism. This is in the matter of approving and signing the Klamath County Tourism Grant Agreements and approving and signing the logo usage agreement with Klamath Wing Watchers for the fall 2023 grant cycle. This cycle, the recommendations are for City of Chiloquin, $10,473. Discover Klamath, $16,804. Quesada, $10,000. Klamath Falls BMX, $4,200. Klamath Falls Disc Golf Alliance, $2,999. Klamath Ice Sports, $40,000. Klamath Trails Alliance, $40,000. Klamath Wing Watchers, $2,025. Cruise at Klamath, $13,500. Malin Community Service Club, $7,000. And the Volcanic Scenic Legacy Byway, $2,999.
I'll make a motion. We approve and sign the Klamath County Tourism Grant Agreements with the above recipients with a fiscal impact of $150,000 expenditure from the Tourism Competitive Grant Fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Just echo the sentiments beforehand. Just a different group of folks, but really appreciate all of their hard work.
Yeah, I'll second that. And there's a lot of positive energy in Klamath County.
Goodness,
And I like to see these projects, and I like when we get to talk about them in a very public, transparent manner like this. And I hope the community recognizes there's a lot of very, very positive momentum in Klamath County. It's very exciting.
Well said. I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Human Resources. You have a few items. Just a few. We can knock those out for you.
Amanda Van Riper, Human Resources. The first one is in the matter of approving a collective bargaining agreement between Klamath County and the Federation of Parole and Probation Officers, FAPO, for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2026. Klamath County's collective bargaining agreement with FAPO expired on June 30th, 2023. This contract was finalized and has been approved and signed by the FAPO membership.
I'll make a motion that the Klamath Board of Commissioners approve and sign the attached collective bargaining agreement with the Federation of Parole and Probation Officers for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2026 with a fiscal impact for fiscal year 23-24 of $929,988.80. For 24-25, it'll be $967,188.35. And for fiscal year 25-26, $1,005,875.89.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion or questions for the director? Thank you for your hard work to the entire team. And to our valued employees of FAPO as well.
100%.
Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes.
Okay.
Next.
Next is in the matter of approving a collective bargaining agreement between Klamath County and the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 701, for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2026. Klamath County's collective bargaining agreement with Local 701 also expired on June 30th, 2023. This contract was finalized and has been approved and signed by the Local 701 membership.
I'll make a motion the Klamath County Board of Commissioners sign and approve the attached collective bargaining agreement with the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 701, for the period of July 1, 23 through June 30 of 26, and authorize the Public Works Director, Human Resources Director, and Board of Commissioners to sign. Fiscal impact for year 23-24 is $1,493,564.80. For 24-25, it is $1,553,307.39, and for 25-26, $1,615,439.69.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion on this item. So these are our folks that keep our roads paved and plowed and bridge is open, so thank you to all of the hardworking men and women in that department as well that do all of that great work for the citizens of Klamath County.
24/7, 365, rain, snow, you name it. They're
Yep.
out there working hard for us. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Go to 8:13.
All right, last one is in the matter of approving a collective bargaining agreement between Klamath County and the Laborers Union Local 737 for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2026. Again, this bargaining agreement expired on June 30th, 2023. The contract was finalized and has been approved and signed by the Local 737 membership.
I'm going to make a motion the Klamath County Board of Commissioners approve and sign the attached collective bargaining agreement with the Laborers Union Local 737 for the period of July 1, 23 through June 30 of 26. Fiscal impact for this CBA is for fiscal year 23-24, $8,512,720.80. For 24-25, it is $8,853,229.63. And for 25-26, $9,118,826.52.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion on this item?
Same comments as before. Thank you for all your hard work to our staff.
Yeah.
Can't do it without you.
Hey, just for context, this is our largest employer group. Rock on. This is our largest employee group, and they have employees in multiple departments all across the county. And so can't really point them all out, but they all know who they are. They're in the library and then public health and development of disabilities and all over in this building. So they're spread out throughout the county and obviously well-valued men and women. So I will call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
8:14, this is the matter of approving a logo use agreement with South Central Oregon Economic Development District. Klamath County has invested money with SCOED to partner with the Klamath Neighborhood Revitalization Project. SCOED would like to create yard signs and other advertisements using our logo to spread the word about the program. I'm going to make a motion we approve and authorize the chair to sign the logo use agreement with South Central Oregon Economic Development District, SCOED, no fiscal impact.
Second, no questions?
Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes.
Have you seen the signs?
I have.
They look good.
They do look good. And, you know, those, that program, for maybe just refresher for folks who don't know, that is a program that SCOED, the city of Klamath Falls, and Klamath County all worked collaboratively on to try to take properties, structures that were otherwise uninhabitable within our community and turn them into great residences that are being used by members of our community. And what's so significant about that, so for folks that don't know, when we have subsidized housing, the average cost per door to build those is so expensive, and you're talking $250,000 to $300,000 a door for these apartments that go up, and it's typically investors that come from outside of our community. These are being done $50,000 a door with taxpayer money and contributing wealth that stays right here in our community, and it just has been making a tremendous difference in the neighborhoods with those programs have been implemented. You know, those houses are being restored, and you're watching neighbors take pride in their houses and start to do work again. And
It's literally reinvesting our dollars right back in our own neighborhoods.
yeah,
It's an amazing program.
yeah. We had an opportunity to discuss that program with the governor's office, and we may get some additional resources to try to do that large scale in our community, and we're going to keep advocating for that.
Absolutely.
We'll now recess from the Commissioners' regular meeting and open the Library Service District Board meeting to move on to item 9.1.
Director.
Ma'am, welcome.
Hi, Natalie Johnston, Klamath County Library Service District. I'm here in the matter of approving and adopting the Klamath County Library Service District Community Meeting Rooms Policy. A bit of background, the purpose of the Klamath County Library Service District Community Meeting Room Policy is to establish rules and regulation for the use of the program room, the small meeting room, and the study room within the confines of the Klamath County Main Library.
I'll make a motion we approve and adopt the Klamath County Library Service District Community Meeting Room Policy.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions?
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah. Any highlights on the policy that you wish to share? If you were speaking to the public, kind of let them know what to expect?
I mean, we just had to redo the policy to make sure people understand that those rooms are open to the public, but they need to follow the rules and policies that we have in place. And we're also going to have a new program policy that people will have to follow when, especially when they want to use our biggest room, to make sure that people follow the policy of the library.
Great. All right, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. We will now adjourn and exit from the Library Service Board meeting and reopen our Commissioners' regular meeting. However, that also brings us to the end of our agenda and move into Commissioner reports. Commissioner, anything this week? I don't have one. I mean, I have stuff.
I'm going to talk about one thing, and I'll make it quick. We've talked about many times, and most everybody knows at this point, we've finished up the Klamath County strategic plan moving forward. That's approved, and we're starting to really dive into that work right now, which is really, really exciting. And that was built based on community input, and that was the desire of the commissioners to have a strategic plan that was heavily influenced by the people. So we make decisions on a day-to-day basis as commissioners. We know that we're doing the work of the people, and we're working in the best interest of Klamath County based upon the needs and expectations of the people we serve. That being said, one of the pillars on there is about public safety. And that's been a priority, and it was outlined as a pillar priority by our community. And that's something that I take very seriously. And I'm speaking a little bit for you, Chair DeGroot. I know you do too, as well as Commissioner Minty. But having fair and equitable policing and public safety for every person in Klamath County is an utmost priority of mine. It's something that I'm dedicated to, and I believe it's my responsibility. And it's my duty to make sure that everybody feels protected and safe in their homes, in their workspaces, and in their communities. And I think that that's a pretty easy argument that everybody would get behind and be very supportive of. Through our travels in Klamath County, we've heard from rural residents, and there are some rural people that are upset about lack of policing in the rural environment in Klamath County. And I'm not pointing fingers or throwing any stones, but that's just a fact, and that's something that we're going to take very seriously. I believe it is our responsibility to look at lots of different ways to ensure that public safety is fair and equitable in Klamath County. And in the process of doing so, we're going to have many conversations about lots of ideas. Some silly, some great, it doesn't matter, but we're going to have conversations about all ideas and all concepts, and everybody's going to have a voice at the table, and everybody's voice is going to be important and meaningful, and we're going to listen, and we're going to try to figure out a way to provide a service that's important, that is sustainable, that's fundable, if I can use that word, that we can pay for. But we're going to talk about lots of ideas, and one of those ideas that we've been talking about is policing the urban growth boundary and utilizing the services of the Klamath Falls Police Department. I think that concept is important. I think that concept is doable, and we're going to continue to have a conversation about that moving forward. What I wanted to talk about now, and that's kind of my segue into what I want to say, that conversation has been used as a I want to say this the right way. There are people in our community that are morphing that conversation into an annexation conversation, which is not the case. And I'm upset by that, and I'm concerned by that, and I want to take a moment to set the record straight. The county commissioners have zero authority to annex our land or any parts of Klamath County to the city, and the city has zero authority to do that as well. That will take a vote of the people, and I 100% support that. So conversations that we have about policing within the urban growth boundary are just that. They're policing. They are not raising taxes. They are not giving up land. They are not giving up neighborhoods. It is nothing more than a conversation about how to have fair and equitable policing across all of Klamath County. So I won't entertain conversations about annexation. That's not what this is about. And I'm disappointed that some people are muddying the crystal clear waters to confuse people within Klamath County. So,
well said. What do you say to follow that? it's a resource allocation conversation, and it's a conversation about trying to make sure that you're giving every citizen in the county fair and equitable allocation of those resources into their protection and their safety, and figuring out a way to do that. To kind of piggyback on what you said, Commissioner, one of the funniest things is, well, if you have all of this extra money, then why don't you just do it this way? There's no extra money. It's not like there's additional dollars out there. It's about using the resources that we're already spending in a way that provides better service. Exactly what we were elected to do.
Yep.
To try to get the best service out of the dollars that people provide. So I don't think I have anything to add other than this. We won't have any meetings next week. Good for you to know. Next week is an annual conference that happens with all of the commissioners across the entire state. And with the Association of Oregon Counties, I'm the president of that association this year. And I will be handing down the gavel on that on next Thursday. So it's been a very, very busy year, and I can't say I'm sad to pass the torch. But I would also say this: it has been an absolute honor serving in that role. I appreciate the faith that my colleagues across the state have had in me to lead that organization over the course of the last year. With a lot of great people's help. So yeah, a little bittersweet, but it'll be nice to kind of give that away. And so we will see everybody
2 weeks.
in 2 weeks. So have a great time, everybody.